people believe that morgues are a place for paranormal activity. We're here to share our thoughts and experiences on the matter and see what you all think. If you agree or disagree, do share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're new, do subscribe, hang out with us, check out our other spooky playlists, and we're going to leave our paranormal and strange vlogs playlist linked in the description, so check it out. A lot of the things are paranormal, some of them are just strange, weird things that happen to us that we would not have believed if they didn't happen to us and we weren't there. So yeah, we love it when people comment, so check those out and share your thoughts and theories. And if you had anything similar happen to you, it's always nice to connect like that. So I am Morticia, this is my darling husband Gomez.
And our lovely Slappy.
Yes, our dear roommate, best roommate in the world. So yeah. Our experience with a morgue actually happened when we first moved to this town. Uncle Fester took us to an antique shop, and Gomez is well, I guess you'd call him a medium, although he doesn't really seek out to do medium work. He can just see spirits, it's an interesting tale. We have that vlog in the playlist linked below. Gomez actually didn't really believe in ghosts until he started seeing them. Which, you know, when you're skeptical, you kind of do have to see it yourself, and you go, oh, well, maybe I was wrong about this. But Uncle Fester obviously knew about this, and so he takes us to this antique shop. He likes to look around in antique shops, and we were hanging out with him anyway, so we go, and he goes, Gomez, do you feel anything? And Gomez just, you know, looks at him. He's kind of bored, just kind of looking around and not really impressed. It's kind of more like junk, I guess, than antiques at this point for us. We just thought it was more like, wouldn't you say?
Yes, even the books are not engaging, nothing old and juicy.
Yes, Gomez was sad, so he's like, what are you talking about? Like, do I feel, he's thinking, I feel bored, I feel disappointed in the shop. Is that what you were thinking? Yeah, like, what are you talking about? I feel anything? Well, you really want to know? And Uncle Fester's like, well, yeah, I mean, do you sense anything? And he's like, no. And so Uncle Fester goes, because this used to be a morgue. So he thinks he's hitting us with this big thing that's going to freak us out, and we're like, oh. And Gomez then decides to just kind of open up and see if he sees anything, and he sees nothing, feels nothing, right? Like,
yeah.
And
all blank, all empty.
All empty and blank. And so I had this thought, and, you know, I thought it would make an interesting vlog. I said, Uncle Fester, why would a morgue be haunted? I mean, nobody died in a morgue. Nobody's doing any kind of paranormal activity in a morgue. This is just the shells of the people who have already died, where they come to get embalmed and to die a little more. And, you know, they're already gone out of these husks. So I never understood why people thought morgues would be a place of paranormal activity. Now, if you're thinking, yeah, but, you know, dead people and just the shells are buried in cemeteries, Morticia, and, you know, a lot goes on in cemeteries with paranormal stuff. Okay, that's a different vlog, and we will talk about it. But we don't want to, like, overwhelm and bog it down too much with vlogs. Vlogs. Alright, sometimes I think I'm funny. When I'm not.
But Slappy and I agree with you, so.
Oh. So, yeah, like, we'll do that on a different day. But, yeah, it's like, there was nothing there, and I'm thinking, why would there logically be anything there? Because, you know, again, this is over. Nothing traumatic happened here. Nothing happened for these people too. Why would they haunt the morgue? Why would they do that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I have seen videos where people work in a morgue and they report hearing and seeing things. And so maybe I'm wrong. I could say maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe it's just creepy as heck being around dead people all day and messing with their bodies, and it creeps out their mind. You know, like, we have a new pet bat. I could link that below too, and he's dead. And I was kind of like, I wanted him. I saw him on eBay. He's so adorable. And I'm like, yeah, but that's really creepy and sick. And like, yeah, but I loved Cadaver Lab and I want him. And so I had this, even with me, and I'm pretty creepy and dark, I had some back and forth reactions on the dead thing in my house. So, yeah, like, so it's I think when you work around them all day, your mind can do that and play tricks on you. And I honestly, that's my belief of what's going on in morgues, because nothing's happening that should draw spirits there. And, you know, at least the one we saw definitely did not have anything that used to be a morgue. So Gomez has not taken a morgue tour to see if other morgues had anything, but, you know, we just wanted to share that as my thought. And Gomez, you had thoughts about why they weren't haunted as well, and as you being a medium, you'd be more of an authority.
Well, it's just a private opinion, as it were, but I'm used to seeing ghosts leaving a particular impression at the place where they die, the morgue is usually the final resting place for them, where they're transported afterwards, but not specifically the place where they died. Like if it happens like in the horror movie where somebody comes to life and then they finish them off and then they die there, that could be a different story. But we're talking about when somebody dies in the house, or like other abnormal circumstances. Their circumstances could generate a change of emotion, and stone emotions express themselves as energies even after death. So I think that there would be a bigger imprint where in the place that they would be haunted, something that is emotionally relevant to them, a place that they used to frequent a lot, a place where they died, a place that would be on their mind before they died.
So even if they didn't die there, something that meant something to them.
Yes.
They probably weren't thinking about the morgue unless they worked there.
Yeah, it's very unlikely. We are all used to train of cemeteries, but we're not used to think of morgues as something where we go. Even those of us who are atheists who just believe it will disappear, I guess, and morgue doesn't mean anything. Those of us who believe in something believe we go move on to something else, but nobody really that I know of believes that morgue is anything special.
Like when you think about dying and being buried, you're thinking about the graveyard. You don't think, and first I'm going to stop up at the morgue. Your mind usually, even when you're alive, just skips over the morgue.
Yeah.
You go from being dead to being buried. And so as a ghost, you probably would do that too. And you don't, the morgue is just a little brief stop. And
yes, I think that your emotional, sentimental direction as a living person, in a sense, determines where you go when you die.
Now, maybe if you worked in a morgue.
Yeah, if that means something to you because you work there, that could be different. If you have an attachment that's emotional, sentimental, and unique to you, then yes.
You hated your boss, you're like, I'm gonna haunt that SOB and terrorize him now. Oh, yeah.
I have a message for you, unfinished business.
And then the morgue can be haunted. You know, there are circumstances, so, you know, but I also think that our mind is a very powerful tool, and we are skeptics. We have, you know, had ghostly encounters, so, you know, I think that saying I do believe in the paranormal, but I'm also a skeptic and I don't have to believe in everything, you know, is the way, I think, to go and be balanced. And we have had a lot of paranormal experiences, some of which I wouldn't believe if I had not had them happen, and that's hard to deal with, and I haven't shared that on this channel yet, but I will eventually. I'm working up to it. But, you know, certain things that if you told me this happened to you, I would go, okay, I'm sure you believe that, but I don't know. Like, that's really hard when you have that happen to you, when you go, I know, I would not believe this if you told me, but yet I experienced it. That was really hard for me, like, because I'm very, like, logical and stuff, and sometimes that gets in my way. But I think that being able to balance that and go, our mind is a powerful tool and it can play tricks on us if we're already creeped out. I mean, morgue is a creepy place with dead bodies everywhere, so I think it's easy for people to think stuff is going on.
Yeah, and I think that even if it does happen, it will be more exceptional than the rule that many people seem to take it to be, because I guess they don't have their own feelings always about. They cannot feel the ghost, so they are theorizing, and that's okay to theorize, but my theory is opposite to theirs.
Yeah, and I think it makes more sense, and really, like, again, we're not saying no morgue ever is haunted, we're just saying it's a lot less likely than people think. You know, when you're working on the dead, they can breathe, they can groan when you're having to cut into them because of the air and the gases, and, you know, it's creepy enough as it is, and it's really, just having that in your head can be enough to make you think any shadow is a ghost, and, you know, we connect things and put things together in our imaginations. So if people are watching this and going, yeah, but I had this experience, I'm sure you think you did, and the mind is a powerful thing, and maybe you did. You know, again, maybe 1 out of 100 morgues is haunted because something specific happened there. Or it was put on top of an Indian burial ground, or, you know, like, I think my sister said that once when we were talking about maybe some paranormal activity in our house in California.
Yeah.
And my sister was on the phone, and she goes, like, well, what if it was on top of some burial ground or something? And I'm thinking, yeah, maybe, but probably everything was by this point. I mean, the world is so old, like.
Yeah, it would only matter if the burial ground was particularly dramatic, and then it would leave some kind of impression, and then your place would be specifically standing out from the others because it has that energy associated with it.
So, you know, yeah, we're not saying 0 morgues can be haunted. You can't say nothing or never, or, you know, whatever about anything is always a certain way, you know, because it isn't. There's always exceptions. But normally, we don't think a morgue is going to be a hotspot of paranormal activity, and that is why. So, do tell us what you think, and if you disagree, give us your thoughts, because we're always open to considering other thoughts and opinions. But in case anybody really got creeped out by morgues, we thought we would share that and kind of maybe help you relax a little if you have to go in there. So, we hope you enjoyed and that it was thought-provoking and interesting, and until next time,
Stay spooky, my friends.